Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Habiba Saripauda.
And I'm Joe Fernandez. We are from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to
Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. leads the inauguration of the alternate runway of the Mactan Cebu International Airport, or MCIA. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. reacts to China's comment regarding the U.S. Typhoon missile system and assured government's commitment to defend the country's territory. The BRP Teresa Magbanwa continues to send hourly radio challenges to a China Coast Guard vessel that is monitoring in the country's exclusive economic zone, or EEZ. A survey conducted by the Social Weather Stations, or SWS, shows that 59% of Filipinos are satisfied with the performance of the Marcos administration. The lower house approves a measure that seeks to hike by 200 pesos the salary of private sector workers. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. inaugurated the 2.55 billion peso parallel runway project at Mactan Cebu International Airport, the first and only parallel runway in the country. He praised the project as a symbol of rapid development in Cebu. The chief executive highlighted how Cebu seamlessly blends history, progress, and innovation, making it a model of hope and progress for the entire nation. The new runway reflects Cebu's dynamic spirit and its continued importance as a center of trade and industry.
There really is something special about Cebu. It's a place where history and progress come together very gracefully, where tradition converges with innovation, and where the grit and tenacity of its people shine brightly in every achievement. Today, we celebrate a new victory in Cebu's remarkable and ongoing story, one that shows why this province continues to inspire hope and progress for other provinces and certainly for the entire nation. This new runway at the Mactan Cebu International Airport reflects the very essence of Cebu. It is dynamic, promising, and always ready to take on challenges. And just as Cebu has been a center of trade and tourism, this parallel runway symbolizes the unrelenting drive to connect and to grow and to lead.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. reacted to the statement of China regarding the U.S. Typhoon missile system that has remained in the country and will be used in an exercise next month. The chief executive, during an interview after the inauguration of the alternative runway of the Mactan Cebu International Airport, about the recent comments made by China regarding the said missile system. The leader of the land also assured that the Marcos administration is fully committed to defend our territorial rights and insisted that it is not the Philippines that is causing the tension in the region.
I don't understand the comments on the Typhoon missile system. We don't make any comments on their missile systems, and their missile systems are 1,000 times more powerful than what we have. So I don't understand. Let's make a deal with China. Stop claiming our territory. Stop harassing our fishermen and let them have a living. Stop ramming our boats. Stop water cannoning our people. Stop firing lasers at us. And stop your aggressive and coercive behavior. And we'll return the Typhoon missiles. Tigil nila yung ginagawa nila, pabalik ko lahat yan.
Last year's repeated and well-documented acts of bullying and harassment by China's mighty naval forces and the militia in the country's EEZ did little to intimidate or spook the Philippine Coast Guard and security forces. The results did not pan out exactly to China's expectations, but rather reinforced the country's resolve to ramp up security patrols and call out the Chinese each time they violate Philippine sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea. Our Patrick De Jesus has more.
Philippine Coast Guard vessel, BRP Teresa Magbanwa.
The BRP Teresa Magbanwa conducts hourly radio challenges against a China Coast Guard vessel being monitored in the West Philippine Sea. The CCG 3304 responds, but the PCG asserts through the radio challenge that the Chinese vessel is violating the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, UNCLOS, and the 2016 Arbitral Award.
To avoid misunderstandings and miscalculations, please order your court and leave this sea area immediately.
You do not possess any legal authority to patrol within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. You are directed to depart immediately and notify us of your intention. Your illegal activity will be reported to higher authorities.
The China Coast Guard was once again driven back 90 nautical miles from Zambales. For almost a month, Chinese vessels have been rotating their trips in the Philippine EEZ off the coast of Zambales. This began after the initial deployment of CCG 5901, also known as the Monster Ship. However, the PCG stood its ground to ensure the protection of Philippine maritime rights through peaceful means. Meanwhile, retired Associate Justice Antonio Carpio stated the provisional agreement should not be extended to other parts of the West Philippine Sea. This agreement applies to the resupply missions for BRP Sierra Madre, but Carpio believes it should be terminated due to the likelihood of China exploiting the deal.
Because China demands some limitation, we are already giving up our sovereign right. And China will use this example to expand this agreement in the West Philippine Sea. I'm anticipating China to do that already.
The National Security Council clarified the provisional agreement does not include seeking China's permission.
Number two, there is no inspection of any of the ships that go to Rarore. And number three, there is no so-called supervision. As mentioned by Justice Carpio, we will never surrender our sovereign rights and our sovereignty because our position in Ayungin Shoal is very clear and that the BRP Sierra Madre is there as the flag bearer and as a symbol of our sovereignty.
The provisional agreement between the Philippines and China was reached in July last year. This followed the most violent incident at Ayungin Shoal in June, at the height of the China Coast Guard's harassment. From the People's Television Network, Patrick De Jesus, Balitang Pambansa.
A December 2024 survey conducted by Social Weather Stations, or SWS, showed that 59% of Filipinos were satisfied with the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., a slight decrease from 60% in September. Dissatisfaction fell by 1 percentage point from 24% in September to 23% in December. The percentage of undecided Filipinos increased by 2 percentage points, rising from 15 to 17%. The administration's net satisfaction rating remained at plus 36, which SWS classified as good. Despite resistance from business owners and employers who see a wage hikes as a death knell to free enterprise and a pathway to bankruptcy, salons in the House okayed a 200 peso daily wage hike for workers in private sector who somehow share a measure of relief as they struggle each day to make ends meet. House Speaker Martin Romualdez assured the whining business owners to find mechanisms such tax breaks and subsidies to somehow offset their misery. That our Mela Lesmoras dwells on this report.
Motion is approved. Congratulations to
The House Committee on Labor and Employment has passed a proposed measure mandating a 200 peso daily across-the-board wage increase for private sector workers. Under the approved substitute bill, all employers in the private sector, whether agricultural or non-agricultural, regardless of capitalization and number of employees, shall pay their workers the mandated wage increase. Once enacted, any person, corporation, trust, or firm may face penalty or imprisonment if they violate any provision of the law.
Matinding pag-uusap, pag-aaral po ang ginawa ho natin dito para ho makapag-desisyon tayo na 200 wage increase ang nararapat para sa mga manggagawa.
Some labor groups welcomed the passage of the proposal, especially since they have been fighting for this for a long time.
Kami natutuwa na naging 200 mula doon sa proposal na 150. Malaking tulong sa mga manggagawa, lalong-lalo na nagtataasan yung mga presyo.
Any additional wage increase sa sahod ng mga manggagawa ay isang kagyat na pagtulong sa pagtataas ng kanyang purchasing power.
But on the side of the employers group, they apparently are disappointed with the progress of the wage hike bill.
Alam mo naman kasi, pag nagtataas ng minimum wage na wala namang koneksyon sa business ng mga kumpanya, lalo na yung maliliit, isa lang ang remedyo niyan, ganito. Tataasan nila yung presyo nila kung kaya ng merkado o pagbabawas ng tao. O kung hindi talagang kaya gawin yun, magsasaro na lang.
For his part, House Speaker Martin Romualdez assured that they will seek to strike or find a balance. He said mechanisms such as wage subsidies and exemptions for struggling MSMEs are on the table to mitigate any negative economic impacts of the wage hike. Meanwhile, Senate President Francis Escudero said the chamber is open to working together with the lower house on this proposal. As of now, the 19th Congress is nearing its end, so some lawmakers have this message to the President.
Dapat naman, kung pwede boss, with the appeal from the workers of this country, please certify this bill. Urgent. Ipasa na. Now na.
Mahalaga no kung i-certify urgent. Nagse-certify urgent nga sa ibang mga mga batas eh. So why not here? Napaka-good news nito para sa ating mga mamamayan.
From PTV, Malalas Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, behaves like a duck, then it must be a duck. Just like the 5 recently arrested Chinese nationals in Palawan, caught with military-grade high-resolution cameras with night vision and Wi-Fi features, along with documented images of the country's ports, Philippine Coast Guard stations, naval craft and facilities in Subic, and the Philippine Coast Guard office in Manila. And the scary part is, this party of 5 arrests could just be a smattering of the dozens, scores, or even hundreds of others that go on under the radar, which Rod Lagusa details in this report.
This is just perhaps the tip of the iceberg. This is how AP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. described the recent arrest of 5 Chinese nationals for alleged spying activities and the intricate operations they conduct in the country. 2 of the suspects were arrested at Naiya, 1 in Intramuros, 1 in Binondo, and 1 in Dumaguete. Based on intelligence gathering, these individuals were monitored in Barangay Buena Vista, Puerto Princesa City in Palawan, where they pose buyers of marine products in the area. The group was also frequently seen in Ulugan Bay, also in Puerto Princesa City, conducting aerial surveillance and reconnaissance using drone. The group collected imagery intelligence at Naval Detachment Oyster Bay, which is part of the Philippine Navy's Naval Forces West, is strategically located near the West Philippine Sea. Among the equipment seized from them were military-grade, high-resolution, solar-powered CCTV cameras with night vision and Wi-Fi capabilities. The suspects were also found with images of Bululuyan Port in Palawan, Coast Guard stations and their vessels, as well as other naval craft including facilities in Subic and the PCG in Manila. According to Browner, it cannot yet be concluded with certainty that the spying was state-sponsored.
We know for a fact that these images, this video that they are taking, are being sent, transmitted somewhere else. Pero hindi pa natin po alam kung saan, ano yung receiving end. That is why we cannot yet conclude that. The information are actually being sent real-time, real-time, hindi po delayed. And of course, kung real-time po yun, alam nila kung saan yung mga barko natin.
He added this is exactly how they know when the country's resupply missions take place. Browner said they started surveillance on this alleged spying-related activity around 2023.
Let us also clarify that they are not arrested because they are Chinese. They are arrested because they are violating our Commonwealth law na pagka sinasurvey mo ang defense facilities natin without authority, that is violation of our law. So kahit kung nagkataon lang sila ay Chinese.
This group is connected to a previously arrested group accused of spying. According to NBA Director Jaime Santiago, Deng Yuan King graduated from the People's Liberation Army of China and is believed that the latest 5 arrested suspects are connected to this.
Based sa extrajudicial confession ng ating witness, nag-uusap sila once a month, and then intelligence information that we've gathered, meron kasi kaming PUI na wala rito. Nasa China. Basically China because yun yung identification niya na nagdidirect sa grupo na to.
The authorities also said the suspects are members of the Kuo Sing Volunteer Group of the Philippines and the Philippine-China Association of Promotion of Peace and Friendship Incorporated, which both carry out medical missions and engage with politicians.
We can say that they have embedded themselves doon sa ating society. That's one thing that we have noticed na pare-pareha sa kanila. Some of them have been working here with a working visa. Meron sa kanila na mga may asawa na Pilipina and have been here. The earliest record that we have sa kanila was 2002.
Meanwhile, the previously arrested Chinese national and 2 Filipinos in connection with the alleged spying activities in the country already underwent inquest proceedings and have been charged in Makati Regional Trial Court. From PTV Manila, Rod Nagusad, Balitang Pambansa.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has suspended the implementation of Oplan Katok by the Philippine National Police during the election period. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia mentioned that they plan to request the PNP to carry out the operation only after the election period. The suspension is due to concerns that Oplan Katok could be used for political purposes, especially in remote areas, which might create fear among people, particularly those not aligned with certain politicians. COMELEC emphasized the importance of ensuring the safety of Filipinos without resorting to such measures during the election period.
Yung po ang kadahilanan kung bakit ang COMELEC ay nagde-deputize ng mga agencies ng pamahalaan. Sabi ko nga, sana po, mapag-aralan lang nila na yun ang isang kapangyarihan na binigay sa COMELEC na napaka-plenary, almost absolute, napakalawak, wala halos restrictions or limitasyon. Ayaw po natin gamitin dahil ang kapangyarihan yun para i-substitute ang aming judgment.
Ako di ay si Mrs. Edwina Colobo. Nagpuyo sa Barangay Lutay, Malungon, Sarangani Province. Isa sa mga agrarian reform beneficiaries. 1982, ma'am, nagsugod mi og panguma bilang usa ka tenant. O sa dihang nagpadayon na mi og panguma ni abot ang agrarian reform, murag dili unta gid ni musugot. Tungod kay hadlok ni ma'am within 30 years prisuhon. Imbis nga matigulang nami mag-agwanta ni sa prisuhan tungod kay ngano daw nga nag-assume mi og usa ka luna sa yuta nga wala man lang mi kabayad. Ang area namo ma'am is 2.7 hectares. Amo na siya ang natanuman og lubi og nakuprasan na namo sa pagkakaron. Ang among gibati ma'am nga ihatag na ni President Bongbong Marcos sa amo ang luna sa yuta. Dako kayo mo pagpasalamat tungod kay kung dili patungod sa ihang paghatag niya ng yuta, ma'am, dili gid mi taon makabayad. Muna nga among gipasalamatan si President Marcos nga naabot sa iyang nauna nga iyang ihipang hatag sa mga taong kabus. Amo gid nang gipasalamatan sa iya. Dako pud kaayo ang among pagpasalamat kang Secretary Estrella III nga isa-usab siya nga naning kamot nga matabangan in taon ang mga kabus nga mahatag sa amua ang luna sa yuta. Kini nga maong yuta nga among naangkon, ma'am, sa agrarian reform, amo ni siyang atimanon kay para nga masunod pa kini sa among mga anak kumaabot.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. denied claims of blank items in the 2025 General Appropriations Act, or GAA, stating that he thoroughly reviewed the entire budget. He emphasized that no blank items exist, as such things are not allowed. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin also rejected the allegations, clarifying the executive branch had no involvement in the reported issue. The president reassured the public that his office carefully oversees even the finer details of governance.
House Committee on Mindanao Affairs Vice Chair and Lanao del Sur Representative Zia Alonto Adyong thanked President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. for certifying as urgent the bill to postpone the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BARM elections. The chief executive believes this motive addresses the need for the Bangsamoro transitional government to realign its governance structure due to recent legal issues. The bill aims to ensure the region's aspirations for unity, inclusivity, and genuine autonomy are achieved. The proposed election postponement, originally scheduled for May 12, 2025, is now being debated, with the House pushing for a delay until 2026 and the Senate favoring October 2025.
Nagpapasalamat tayo kay President Bongbong Marcos kasi nga parte sa kanyang priority yung pag-angat ng BARM. Alam naman natin ang BARM ngayon ay sa transition period pa. Unfortunately, with the decision of the Supreme Court excluding Sulu as part of the court territory, nagkaroon siya ng impact doon sa selection ng seats na magbubuo ng 80 seats sa Parliament. So it's very imperative and very important that before we can proceed with the election, dapat ma-redistribute muna itong 80 seats na to.
Once anew, the country has drawn international plaudits for its mass vaccination efforts to keep both young and old alive and well. The DOH immunization program received the WHO and UNICEF citation as they joined the DOH on its second National Immunization Summit. Today's big health event was just reinforcement of DOH's continued vaccination program against highly infectious yet preventable ailments, especially those that beset kids. Case in point, the DOH timely stab in curbing and eventually eliminating measles outbreak in the BARM despite initial pushback from parents and elders who have been sold to fake news spreading online. As a result, vaccine hesitancy has been at its lowest point in the country and more lives are being saved with preventive effects immunization brings.
Here's the best part. From 1 million zero-dose children in 2021, top 5 in the world for the Philippines in terms of number of zero-dose children, we have managed to bring this number down together to 163,000 2 years later, not even in the top 20.
On behalf of the World Health Organization, I extend my deepest admiration and appreciation to each of you, our partners in health, for your dedication and commitment to ensuring that good health is enjoyed by all Filipinos.
The Dipolog SPED Center takes part in the celebration of National Autism Week. Pamela Fumero of Philippine Information Agency Zamboanga del Norte has more.
In coordination with the local government and the Department of Education Dipolog City Schools Division, the Dipolog City Special Education Center celebrated National Autism Consciousness Week with different activities aimed at showcasing the abilities and talents of children with autism spectrum disorder, all while helping them explore new experiences. Aside from these activities, there were also learning sessions for parents where therapists and lecturers discussed the intricacies of living with autism.
I want everyone to learn and know that they are not crazy, that these kind of learners on the autism spectrum are special, and that I believe that they really need this kind of intervention to really understand them deeply, not just easily judge them.
All these efforts are aimed towards stigmatizing mental illness, specifically the autism spectrum disorder, and showcasing that despite their disabilities, individuals living with ASD are just as capable as neurotypicals. From the Philippine Information Agency Zamboanga del Norte, this is Pamela Fumero for Balitang Pambansa.
9 tribes from the different towns in Iloilo showcased their world-class performances during the Kasadyahan sa Kabanhawanan, which was part of the Dinagyang Festival 2025 celebration. Philippine Information Agency Iloilo's John Noel Herrera has more.
9 tribes from the different towns in Iloilo showcased their world-class performances
during the kasadyahan sa Kabanwahanan, which was part of the Dinagyang Festival 2025 celebration. The 9 tribes left spectators in awe with their vibrant and compelling performance during the kasadyahan sa Kabanwahanan, organized by the Iloilo Provincial Government. From start to finish, the audience were amazed with the dance choreography, music, costumes, and props of the tribes. The removal of spaghetti wires at the city's heritage area also became an added beauty to the view of the visitors. It is noted that the city government implemented the underground cabling as mandated by City Regulation Ordinance 2023-006.
Actually, halin ako sa Sagwa and then we just came here sa Iloilo para mag-witness ang Dinagyang Festival. And kanami gid kay nag-uulog yan ang mga tanan nga Ilonggo para mag-celebrate sang kapistahan sang aton nga Senior Santo Niño. And naga-improve every year. Kay every year diri man ko nagatanaw.
The Tultugan Festival of Maasin Iloilo was once again declared as champion as they showcased the town's growing bamboo industry and its many uses. The Hirinugyaw Sugidanonay Festival of Kalinog Iloilo was declared as the first runner-up, while the Kaing Festival of Leon Iloilo finished as second runner-up. The provincial government also hopes that the celebration of Kasadyahan sa Kabanwahanan will continuously boost the tourism industry of Iloilo, cementing its title as a fun, foodie, and friendly province in the country.
Indeed, this celebration of Kasadyahan sa Kabanwahanan showcased the vibrant and rich cultural tradition of the different towns in the province of Iloilo. From the Philippine Information Agency Iloilo, John Noel Herrera for Balitang Pambansa.
On the other news, the Department of Education and a non-governmental organization celebrated the 11th anniversary of Peace Day to highlight the role of the youth in upholding peace and in denouncing wars. Patricia Bermudez of PIA Calabarzon has the details.
Over 8,000 students, teachers, and officials from the Department of Education's Kawitsib office showed the power of education in advancing the youth's involvement in fostering peace and unity. In partnership with the Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light, an international non-government organization with UN consultative status for peace matters, the 11th Peace Day anniversary aims to gather support for the declaration of peace and cessation of war. This 10-article document will then be submitted to the UN as a roadmap for global cooperation, conflict resolution, and sustainable peace.
Now we're here in America with inculcating in the hearts and minds of the kids, our future generation, how important peace is. And this is like the investment for peace because they will become the next future leaders.
The organization partners with DepEd in establishing school clubs as platforms for the youth to become peace ambassadors.
Pagbabahagi po sa mga klase ko, mga kaibigan, pamilya, para kahit papano po, long-lasting po yung pagpapatuloy po ng pagpapairal ng world peace kasi ito na po talaga yung kailangan natin sa mundong ito na po ngayon.
Naipapaalam namin sa mga estudyante kung gaano kahalaga ang pagkakaisa. Dahil ang pagkakaisa nagsisimula sa pamilya, kaming mga sa isa paaralan, kami yung sumusuport sa mga bata.
The 24th Peace Day is not only a review of history lessons on this town's history in our fight towards freedom. More importantly, it highlights the youth's role in promoting peace for generations to come. From PIA Calabarzon, Patricia Bermudez, Balitang Pambansa.
And for our weather, based on Pagasa's weather forecast, section of southern Luzon affects by the shear line, while northeast monsoon affecting the northern and central Luzon. Shear line affects the part of Bicol region, Aurora, Quezon, Marinduque, and Romblon that may encounter cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms. Cagayan Valley and Cordillera Administrative Region will experience cloudy skies with rains. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated light rains will fall in Metro Manila, Ilocos Region, and the rest of Central Luzon due to the northeast monsoon. Meanwhile, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms will be felt in the rest of the country caused by easterlies.
Department of Foreign Affairs Enrique Manalo will answer questions on the challenges that the agency is facing, as well as the DFA plans tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon on PTV's Bagong, Pilipinas, Ngayon. And that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation on a Thursday. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez.
This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Habiba Saripaudak, and this is
Balitang Pambansa.